There's no catharsis. My punishment continues to elude me. I simply am not there.
All right, if everything is good. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and today we are going to be playing uh, Ape Out Warpless. And this game is it's a very nice roguelike where just the levels are randomized every single time you play them. The layout's different. That's the main mechanic of this game. The enemy layouts are different, and it's a wonderful speed game, in my opinion. And I can't wait to show it off for you guys. It's been a while since this game has been shown off in a few marathons, so I'm very glad to be showing it off here. So without further ado, let's get started. As you see, there are 4 main albums, and we're gonna start with album 1. Timing will start when I hit start right here. So 3, 2, 1, go. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Ape Out, it's a very hard game, very hard to die in. So for every death, I will be donating $1 to the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. And if anyone wants to join me on that, I would love to have you guys. So let's start. Ape Out. So one of the things about this game is that every level you have 3 hits, and you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you are kind of having like choosing your battles essentially. There's a big risk reward factor in this game. For example, you don't want to die, so you need to make sure you kill the enemies, but also interacting with enemies wastes time. So you want to make sure that you choose your battles, choose when to fight, when to just keep moving forward, and that's one of the harder things about this game, in my opinion. And as you see right here, I'm kind of like running sideways in the middle of the level transitions, and what I'm doing is called a butt slide. And in Ape Out, when you run towards a wall, you get pushed away from it ever so slightly, and when you if you run towards a wall and forward, if you run at a specific angle, you get pushed away from the wall, but you also get pushed forward. So we're kind of like moving our right stick at a 45-degree angle when we go into the level transition, so that we can just walk sideways along the lines of the wall, like this. And one thing that is very annoying about this game, naturally, are the enemies. There are a bunch of different types of enemies in this game. We have the regular enemies in white, the shotgun guys, and one of the more annoying enemies introduced in this level, the bomb enemies. And the reason that they're so annoying is because if you hit them really close to a wall, they can just kill you in one hit. Any explosion just kills you in one hit in this game, and if you just throw them into a wall and you're really close to them, you can just you'll just explode on impact, like that. That was a bit close. We want to avoid situations like that at all costs. Oftentimes, I'll just try to zoom past the bomb guys whenever possible. But unfortunately, there are specific scenarios where you do have to try and fight them. Ugh, that was very close. As you can see, every time that I walk up to a door and try to open it, I am letting go. After 3 pulls, I am letting go of the door and re-grabbing it. That's because in Ape Out, whenever you open a door, the animation of the door is tied to the sound cues, and you need 3 ticks in order to open a door. And then you can just let go and open the door again, and then it'll it'll speed up the 4th tick, and once the 4th tick happens, you can just open the door immediately. Oh my god, that was close. Okay, well, we're good. We're gonna keep going. So again, the layouts for every level are random each time that you play it, so I am just going to be reacting on the fly. I've never seen this this layout before. So on the fly, we're just going to be improvising and trying to do our best quick reactions. The key to getting a good time in this game is just quick reactions and improvisation, good improvisation, and everyone's best friend, of course, RNG. But we do the best of what we can. All right. There you go. All right. Wonderful. Okay, so for this level, power down, we start to have levels in the dark. Now, in the dark can be very weird, mainly because when you run into enemies, for whatever reason, they actually react faster in the dark. So if you walk up to them, it'll take longer, it'll take quicker for them to shoot you, and it's very annoying. There are specific enemies that do not react faster in the dark, but the basic enemies do. All right, and also there are specific areas in the game where you actually do have like scripted layouts. For example, in this level, in level 6, you always have to go down or up at the very beginning. That is always going to be there. That's coded into the game no matter what happens, no matter what playthrough you're on. All right. Level 7, Long Shadows. There are going to be a bit of flashing lights near the end of this level. Around 3, 2, 1 now. So I just wanted to warn you guys of that. All right, there are some enemies here, but they're pretty simple to avoid. All right, luckily, having some pretty good layouts here, we can just go straight through. The best thing you can have in this game is just a layout that gives you a direct path to the end. Just no up or down, just straight forward, straight to the right. That was a great seed. Possibly a goal, but I don't have my live split open, so we're just gonna have to retime that ourselves. Okay. Wonderful. Let's keep going. Oop. Messed up the door grab there a bit. Oh, that was close. But as you can see, one of the more annoying things is that the enemies of this game have amazing range, and for whatever reason, it really feels like they have better aim when you're moving and not when you're standing still. Like, I've had many times where the enemies will not shoot me when I'm opening a door and just standing still, but they will shoot me when I'm running completely away from them in like a zigzag pattern. Alright. Luckily, there were no bomb guys in that last corridor. It's very annoying when there aren't. But that is that's album 1 for you guys. Wonderful. We did have 1 death there, so that's $1 to charity. But album 2. Album 2, there's a little trick that we have at the beginning of album 2, but we're not going to do it because it's not very marathon safe, not very marathon friendly. It's literally during the loading screen right there. As soon as you press start, you just hold down the right trigger, and it'll skip this first cutscene. Primarily because there's a little span of time where the game reads an input when you are in that loading zone. But the downside to that is that if you die within the first of you will block the game, which is not what we want in the middle of a marathon. So we're not going to do that. And luckily, I got to show off the intro cutscene to album 2. Album 2 is probably my favorite one, both casually and in the speedrun. And the reason for that is just the layouts and also the music. The music is one of the very good aspects of this game. And as we can see here. All right, yeah, as you can see here, the layouts can be very weird. And what I mean by that is that this is the first level that introduces dead ends. And the reason that the developers had dead ends in the game is because they wanted to mimic an office space as best as they could, but and so it just felt more appropriate to like the level layouts that there would be dead ends. That's not necessarily something that I agree with, nor is it fun for the speed run because you can go all the way to the end of a hallway and have it be a dead end and have to go all the way back, and it's a huge time waster. So yeah. Nice. Okay, we played that a bit well. And this is actually this level has introductions to a new type of enemy called Melvins. That's their official name, Melvins. And what the Melvins do is that they're little green-haired guys that you'll see. And also the SWAT members, but the SWAT members aren't really that come out of the windows, but they're not really that much of a problem. But what the Melvins do is that they're very annoying. They're my least favorite enemy in the game, and they whenever you run towards them, they run away from you. But whenever you run away from them, they run towards you. So that's like really annoying. I am playing it a bit safer, and I'm using like the grab function, which if you press left trigger, you can actually grab enemies and throw them in opposite directions, in different directions. But that's not often a thing that we use in the speedrun, primarily because, grabbing enemies and throwing them somewhere else wastes a bit of time. But for the sake of the marathon, or just for the sake of safety, I am going to be implementing that mechanic a bit more than I usually would. Just so we don't have any, like, unwanted deaths or waste any time for no reason. Okay. And also, this, first off, end of A-side for album 2. Second of all, we have a new introduction to another type of enemy, and those are the snipers. You might have seen them already, but they're only in this building because you might have seen the little red lines from the other building that we just came from, and those are the snipers in this building. And now we get to have them up close. Oh dear! Oh my God! This is a very bad layout. Oh, that was a strange death, but luckily it happened right at the beginning of the level, so it's not too much of a time loss. And one thing that I do kind of like about this game is that it tends to give you an easier time if you've already died. I'm pretty sure that's intentional. That's not. I'm like 99% sure that that's intentional. But it does tend to give you like an easier time when you die. And you have a bit of an easier layout, like that. We just go straight through. Ooh, okay, that's good. Yeah, this is a really good layout. Circle back. Oh dear. Oh my God. What is going on? My game is frozen. That's weird. Um, well, we're gonna... Oh dear. Nothing is working. Well, let me exit out of this game. Yeah, it's not responding. That sucks. We're going to have to restart the game. Yeah, close the program. This is a very unexpected turn of events. But you know what? It's alright. We're gonna keep going. I'm very surprised. That's never happened before. Because there are two locations in album 2 where it can crash, but that was not one of them, which is very weird. Hmm. Well, we're gonna keep going. And of course, there is no sound coming through. I'll have to fix that on my end. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're getting back on track. Hmm. There we go. All right, let's continue the run, shall we? continue. You will have to start back at the beginning of that album, unfortunately. Or not the beginning of the album, the beginning of the level. Yeah. But we're going to keep going. Circle back. Anyway, let's continue. Wonderful. Ooh, that was... Okay. Floor 9. Floor 9, we're going to do the same thing as floor 7. We're just going to switch buildings. We're going to go up here. Okay. Alright, let's go. Floor 8. Yeah, there's these little, the enemies that you have to worry about the least in this level are definitely the machine gun guys that come out of the windows. The ones in the black suits right there. While they can hit you, it's very rare that they do, believe it or not. Like, they'll just shoot all over the place. They don't really have any, like, rhyme or reason to where they're aiming, so. Oh, I'm glad that that wasn't a dead end. I had a very bad feeling that that was a dead end. Alright, we seem to be having good RNG so far when it comes to the layouts here. Oh, nice. Bad aim from that enemy. We love to see it. Alright. That's very weird. We missed both of the crash. So this game can actually crash between 2.4 and 2.5, which is the first half of the album and the second half, but it can also crash between the transition of 2.6 and 2.7, and it crashed in neither of those places. That is a crash that I have never seen before. I don't know why that happened, but we're just gonna deal with it. Huh? Add that to the timer. So we're finally at the lobby, and we're going to we might die here, or not. Question mark? Oh dear. Oh my. Oh, yep. We died. That's another $1. Charity. Alright. Okay, wonderful. Nope. Dead end. Another dead end. We love to see it. So if you want to start this game, there's the number one rule about running this game is that whenever you make a mistake, it's not your fault. Just blame the RNG, like everyone else. Just blame the RNG and move on. Okay, I am playing this a bit safer for the sake of safety. We don't want to waste too much time here, more than we already have, and that should be the end. Yep. All right, that's the end of album 2. Wonderful. Album 3. So each level has kind of a theme that I really like. The first level was like a science laboratory that they were doing experiments with apes on. The second one was a high-rise. I don't really know how that fits in. Why would they put an ape in a high-rise? Who knows? But for this level, it is in a military encampment where they keep the ape. And it's nice to have the different themes, and the music corresponds with them respectively. It's one of the very wonderful details about this game. I feel like it adds a lot of artistic value to it, which is always good. But album 3, it's this first level, album 331. It's not that hard of a level to do. The main thing about this this album is that there's just more enemies, but they're all like packed together, so it's pretty easy to avoid them, or just once you push one enemy into the wall, like all of them kind of die. So it's not too much of a concern as long as the enemies are sticking together. If they start splitting up, and that's when they're really a threat, you know. Oh dear. Oh my god. Or when there's just too many like that. That was very close. Alright, we want to stay up on this on 3-2, because when you stay up, the exit will always be up. And so that kind of knowing the levels and knowing how the enemies are going to react, knowing where you are in comparison to the enemies and the end of the level, it's that's part of what makes a good runner and a good time. Just knowing where you are in relation to everything else, knowing how much time you have until you reach the end. Oh, bad seed. All right. This is a big open area, and big open areas in this game are not your friend whatsoever. Mainly because big open areas have a lot of enemies in them, and having a lot of enemies is not a good thing. And with big open areas like this, you don't really have anywhere to take cover. And one thing that can help mend that is just kind of sticking to the bottom. And when you stick to the bottom, you kind of... Oh dear. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I would have died from those enemies anyway. Primarily because you know I was next to the door and they would have shot me had I just kept opening the door. We're not gonna go there. We're gonna go through here. Yep. We're gonna do the same strat. Just keep down, and when you keep down, you do tend to have a little bit more luck. So we're just gonna keep with that strat. Okay. Again, when you die, the game does give you a better seed. So, oh dear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we got shot twice. Let's not get shot a third time. Alright. Wonderful. I think the end of the level's right here. Yes, it is. Alright, so we've died 3 times so far. That's $3 to the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. That's one of the upsides about all the deaths we're having today. This isn't the ideal run. I definitely would have reset just from the first death. But you know, it's okay. We're just gonna keep going. I'm very surprised I didn't get shot when the lights went out. Okay. Anyway, the lights are out, and there is one enemy in this level that does not react quickly when the lights are out, and that's the machine gun guys, the new enemies that were introduced in this level. You might have seen them. Okay. Oh dear. And yet I got shot twice by one of them. Okay. Okay. Thank God that was the end of the level. Anyway, that's the end of A-side for album 3. Alright. Side B. Side B is very hard to not die in. I've done it before, but it's quite a triumph to do. Primarily because, again, big open spaces. It's just not, they're not your friends. And right when we exit this building here, we're going to have nothing but big open spaces, which is not the best to have. Oof. And getting shot once before that, all that happens, also not the best. Oh dear. Okay, thank God. Okay. That was a weird play on my end. I took that very safely. I'm surprised I got out of that. But another aspect of this level is that they have a lot of shotgun enemies. There's a lot of shotgun enemies in this level, and it's ridiculous. Like you see, they come in packs. It's ridiculous. Butt sliding is very weird in Album 3 because of these little pegs in the fences. We didn't really do it in Album 2 just because of the layout and how the level is. But we didn't really do it in album at the beginning of album 3 on the A side because, you know, the hallways were too large. But we can do them here again, which is kind of awkward to have at places. Anyway, another introduction in this level is flamethrower enemies. They're very easy to avoid, primarily because they don't really move faster than your walking speed. Like when they aim the flamethrower at you, and they aim it in different directions, can never than you faster than you. So really avoid them, just them and you'll be perfectly fine. There are times where they can be advantageous to gaining time, but unfortunately it's very hard to pull those kind of things off. For example, when you, when you throw a flamethrower around to a wall, it creates like an explosion and causes fire to surround the area. You can run into that fire, and by running into the fire, all of the enemies will just run away from you. And that can just lead you a straight path through the enemies. You don't have to interact with them. You can just go straight through. And that is a good thing if you trust yourself to not get hit. And I am not doing that for the marathon personally. At least not in this. Wow! Wow, that was a very bad bomb placement. I'm not doing that for the marathon personally because it's just a bit too risky. And so this level introduces bombs. Bombs just drop randomly at peculiar instances, and they drop right in front of you. And there are very bad times where the bomb can just explode right then and there. Exactly, it drops right in front of you. It's ridiculous. Oh dear. It just drops right in front of you, and it's very hard to avoid. For example, if you're like interacting with an enemy, you can push the enemy into the bomb, or if you're an enemy can shoot a bomb and then it'll explode and kill you. And they're very hard to maneuver your way around. And that was a very, very bad luck at the beginning of that level. But anyway, that's the end of. We managed to avoid the bombs, luckily, on our second try. So that is the end of album 3. That's 5 deaths so far. This is kind of a bad run for my standards, but I think it's still going to be underestimate, so it's fine. Luckily, a lot of the bad, I can legitimately admit that it was just bad luck in bad placements of the enemies, and that's just how the cookie crumbles with 8-Bow. Anyway, album 4. This is the last album in the game. And I can't decide if album 2 or album 4 is my favorite. I think album 4 can sometimes work its way up there into my favorites, but we're on a boat now, kind of like in a Madagascar situation. Okay. And one advantage of album 4 is that there are like crates that you can, and containers that you can put yourself in, and as long as you're in there, you're pretty much completely safe from any enemies. And also the music changes a little bit when you're inside the crate. This is a very nice touch. And Matt Bach, who composed the music for this game. All right. So like, as you can see, it's a nice protection from all the enemies. Wonderful. That's 4-1. 4-2, Rough Seas. Rough Seas is very interesting. And the reason I say that is because it can be a really, really easy level or a really, really hard level, depending on what you get. Primarily because the lights turn out at random moments, but this is the only level that when the lights turn out, the enemies do not have a flashlight. And due to that, they just start shooting in random directions, which can either be a really good thing or a really bad thing. Like, they can shoot other enemies that are in your way, but they can also shoot you. Or, since there are bomb guys in this level as well, they can shoot a bomb guy in the dark without even knowing. And if you're within range of his explosion, you're just going to die in one hit. But luckily, 4-2, no deaths. 4-3, no quarter. This is arguably the hardest level in Album 4, primarily because you're in very tight spaces and the enemies come in packs. And my least favorite enemies, the Melvins, come in a lot of packs, which is absolutely annoying. They're very annoying to deal with. They run all over the place like ants. It's crazy. Alright, luckily we've avoided all of the enemies so far. Again, going out of my way to kill some enemies that I may not necessarily have to, just for the sake of safety. Okay, we're having a good no quarters so far. Alright, cool. Alright, that was a really good no quarters. No deaths. And after all of those levels of, dying and stressing over, the RNG and stressing over all the enemies, we can actually take a break here. And the reason for that is we have a little glitch here that it's one of the very few glitches that's allowed in this category. But you can do this at home. It's very easy. Just when these enemies pop up, restart level, and you're invincible for the next 3 levels. Legit. Like, you see they're shooting me, and I'm not bleeding. Yeah, exactly. They're shooting me and I'm not bleeding. It's a wonderful time. I absolutely adore it. You don't have to interact with enemies at all. It's amazing. And, well, I kind of lied. You're not invincible, technically. The reason that this happens is because at the very beginning of the level, there was an explosion. And for whatever reason, instead of making it a non-lethal explosion that can't kill you, the developers decided to just give the player 99 health during that small little cutscene. But you can abuse that and just restart level during the cutscene, and then you have 99 health for the rest of the levels up until the very last one. Because there's like a scene change that will draw your health back to 3. However, you still want to be careful just a tiny bit. While you can just cruise your way past through the majority of the enemies, like the flamethrowers and the shotgun guys, there are bazooka guys that get introduced in this level, and the bazookas are supposed to kill you in 1 hit, but since we have the 99 health glitch, we don't have to worry about that. We do have to worry about them a little bit though, because they do 10 damage. They don't just do 1 damage like the rest of the enemies do. Ooh, this is a bad layout. I dislike this. Right. Lots of ups and downs. There are very few times where the layouts in like 4.5 and 4.6 will just be pretty straightforward. They tend to follow an up-down pattern, like so. But there are specific instances where the layouts can kind of be in your favor a bit, but those are very rare. Okay. We're gonna try and avoid the bazooka guys because we're getting hit by them a bit more than I care to. This is since the flamethrower guys are still in this level, we can actually abuse them a bit and just get burned by them, and that'll leave us with a wide opening because all the enemies just run away from us because we're on fire. It's very weird how they won't run away from an ape, but they will run away from an ape that's on fire. Right. Outro. This is the last level of the game. Be ready on time, please. But hopefully we won't get shot. We won't die here. We can go nice and straightforward to this level. So this level is in a zoo, obviously, and you can actually free these animals. And the animals will serve as not only an extra target for the enemies, but they will also serve as allies. So they will attack enemies and kill them for you. So you can just keep going straight. When you get to this outside area, you want to keep down, just to make things a bit easier on yourself. And fun fact, in the Switch version, the game would actually crash if you tried to free all the animals because of all the glass particles everywhere. That's not too much of a concern here in the PC version. I want to try and get hit by a guy with a tranquilizer dart, and just to show off what it looks like when you get shot by a tranquilizer. But I don't know if I'm gonna have to have it. Here we go. Yep, that's what happens. That's what it looks like when you get shot by a tranq. Anyway, that's the end of the level. Time will come up when the title screen appears. 3, 2, 1, time. Alright, that is Ape Out. And we have a wonderful outro here with this nice jazz music. You know, the whole game was like a drum solo, and the jazz band just comes in at the end. And the song is actually called You Gotta Have Freedom by Pharoah Sanders. And it's very, very fitting. So, that is Ape Out Warpless. I died, if I remember correctly, I died a total of 5 times. 1 time in Album 1, 1 time in Album 2, and 3 times in Album 3. So that is $5 to charity. $5 to the transgender legal defense and education fund. So with that, I'm Ozmourn, And that is Ape Out. If you want to speedrun this game, please go on to speedrun.com, join the Discord. We're a very small community. We always want to have more runners. If, you know, kind of improvisation and a bit of randomness, kind of like Minecraft, you know, if you want to compare it to something popular. If you want to get more involved in games like that, this is the perfect speed game for you. We have Warpless and we have any percents, so we can always teach you different categories. I'd be more than happy to help you out, as well as anyone else in the community. So yeah, thank you so much for having me, Gamegoyles, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for 2 other runs that I'm going to be doing, Superliminal and Light Matter. And I can't wait to show you guys those games as well. So thank you so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the marathon, and good luck to Ozmourn, who's going to be doing The Last Guardian. It's a wonderful game, and I can't wait to watch it myself. So, see ya. That's all.